Alright, bruh. We back for steady rotation. How we doing, Queso?
Hey, bro, we're just trying to stay warm out here. Over the weekend, I had to go shovel snow. Damn near lost my life. But I had a random guy with his truck who saved me, helped me out with some snow shoveling, listened to some good singles. Living good, man. Keeping it steady right now. How about you, Vic?
Been chilling, man. Been chilling. Yeah, the snow. I don't know. I guess that's what you get for living in New England, but it's all good, man. It's all good. But yeah, man. I think just jumping into it, man. We didn't get too many projects this week. We got some dope singles.
Hey, bro, hold up, though. Hold up, though. You can't do my boy Kyle like that. He did drop an album.
I mean, I feel like I can
Just
do him
quick
like
shout out
that.
to my boy Kyle. Oh, bro. Clearly, you just do not hang around with females enough to appreciate his music.
I also don't hang around a time machine to 2016 or 2017. Um,
Man, if you find one, let me know, bro. I'm trying to go back. I'm trying to invest in some Bitcoin.
Super duper Kyle.
I've
But
been famous for a while.
yeah, I mean, I didn't give it a chance, but I'll take your word for it that it was a pretty good project. Like, I don't think he's a bad artist, actually. I think he's a little gimmicky, but I think he has his place. But we got some dope singles on Friday, but we also got a dope single on Monday. On Monday, we got a dope single, right?
Bro, from the one and only The Truth, man. Cal Basie X Denzel Kerr. Goodness gracious.
That's Cal Banks for the uninformed. Largely featured on The House is Burning with hit tracks such as Hey Mister. Oof. I mean, but yeah, he blessed us again with this track. I mean, the production was, to me, I was like, damn, this is a nice beat. Like, who did this shit? And you heard those, like, that alien, whatever, that space kind of sound. And I was like, oh, shit, that's Cal Banks' production tag.
Bro, man. Like when I heard Cal Banks and Denzel Curry were making a track together, I had to listen. And then, first and foremost, one thing I really love about Cal Banks' production is just like the fact that he keeps his production very fundamental. He's not trying to hit you with too much. He's not trying to overproduce. He's just finding a quality sample loop, giving you the most simplistic, not the most simplistic, but the most fundamental drum patterns. But they keep on hitting, and then sometimes when he just be doing his beat switches, bro, come on, man, it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
Tell me how you felt about that second half of the track, man.
The second half, it was like, I think I was telling you yesterday, I was like, it sounded like it was going to slow down, and it kind of did, but Denzel still kept his tempo. And I think I think the second half of that, the beat switch was, it opened up the song a lot more for Denzel to like just go in and kill the song at the end, even with like and still keeping the same like sample basically, but it is sonically like two different parts of the song. I thought he killed it. They both killed it,
Bro. Cal Beasy did it again. Denzel Curry stayed consistent as ever. Supposedly we're getting an album this year. Whenever that happens, all I know is he blessed us with the 1.5 remix Unlock 1.5 last year, which was like the remix album, like the Unlock series, and now we're getting something more of him, and I'm here for it, man. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. I will say that I don't know. I think woo, that COVID. I will say I don't know. I'd be interested to hear like what kind of sound Denzel's going to try to go to now, because maybe he might just kind of go back to his roots a little bit, or maybe he might try to continue this whole Zeltron like Cloud Cobain stuff. I don't know, or he might just do this Ricky kind of production. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I like how he's still like evolving, but he has like all these different sounds that he likes to like try out, and then but he still maintains the bars.
I'm just happy that like over the years he just like mastered his flow and became tighter and tighter with it. Because I remember back in the N64 days, where like he was clearly rapping, but he was, he definitely was sometimes a little bit more energetic and sloppier with the flow execution. But like you can just clearly tell that he's probably drinking more water. He's growing his dreads back. He's getting older, so obviously he's getting wiser. He's getting his comic book game on. Like I just love to see the progression. He's clearly hasn't compromised his sound, unlike yeah, someone else whose name shall not be mentioned until he redeems himself.
Isaiah?
Nah, bro. Isaiah good in my book, bro.
I don't know, man.
The streets.
Wait, who'd you say?
I'm talking about the Budman from the Brooklyn streets.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we already talked about him last week, but yeah, he's not even the Budman anymore. I don't know.
He's a butty boy.
Whoa, hey, yo. Yeah, man. I mean, yeah, we talked about this yesterday too. It's just like there's this new single. Like we're still upset about it because there's no part about it that is Brooklyn. There's no part about it that is like even like New York. There's no part of it even like the Caribbean roots. And it's just an entirely like mainstream sound, which is like so not Joey, but I guess it is now. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we get. Hopefully, it's just kind of like a Lucy. Hopefully, it's not something.
I do want to give him credit though, because this week or like 2 days ago, he did drop the music video for Temptations off of his KKK album, if you remember that, or American album, Triple K. So I don't know if maybe he got the memo from some people saying, "Hey, bro, like we're not really feeling the new sound," or maybe he just had something in the vault that he wanted to release or re-release because there were some like legal issues I heard initially. But I'm glad that he's able to sort of bring forth a little bit of nostalgia to the fans who are still looking for that. But anyways, man, we'll leave Joseph to the devices right now. Right now, we're talking about these singles, man.
Yeah,
Gotta
true.
talk about the Butcher, bro.
The
Benny
Butcher.
the Butcher.
Yeah.
Butcher, nigga.
Just another kind of like.
How you feel about that beat, bro?
I fucked with it. I fucked with the whole song too. Like I thought, Benny. I think he came in with the bars again. The production kicked in with the sample too. Like I don't know. Like I had no complaints about the song. Even Jermaine, who like I'm not even the biggest fan of. I'm just like I thought he did his thing. He even said
Jermaine?
he was the butcher too.
Hey, man, all I gotta say is this. First and foremost, shout out to Benny the Butcher and the whole Griselda team for, getting the respect and, recognition that they are getting right now. Obviously, having them work with people such as Kanye West on Donda, getting a J Electronica verse, West Side specifically, it's kind of wild to me. And just now seeing that they're working with J. Cole clearly shows that, that the hard work and dedication that they put into the game is finally paying off, and it's beautiful to see. The song, in the context of a single, felt a little bit underwhelming to me, or I guess my expectations were, like on like a 9 or a 10, and it was more of like a cool 8. And I'd probably just say that's because it sounded more like an album cut to me than like a single, which makes sense. Like I wouldn't be surprised if like this track that. Shout out to Alchemist. I feel like he's kind of like a 50-50. Like I love Alchemist production, but sometimes when his production doesn't hit, it just feels like very monotonous. In this case, I think that the beat was fine, but I found the mixing to be a little bit underwhelming. So I found, again, sonically, just listening to the bars to be a little bit of a chore. Benny the Butcher did his thing. Honestly, with like Benny never disappoints. Kind of like the game on that song with Kanye. What was it called? Like Easy? Yeah, the song that came out like 2-3 weeks ago. Like kind of how the game kind of killed it. I was like, nah, I was impressed, but I guess it was to be expected. Jermaine came through. It was a cool verse. Maybe not like, I guess, quote unquote, the feature killer, Cole that I was kind of looking for, but it did fit the vibe, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think that anyone like stole the show or overshadowed anyone, and I think that they both played their parts well in the song. Personally, I just kind of hope that if this track does come up on an album, maybe that whoever was on the mixing board remixes it a little bit better, but it was cool. I think that like the star power kind of like made me think it was going to be out of this world, but listening to the track was just like a solid track, if that makes sense. It didn't meet my expectation, but it by no means was like trash or anything like not worth listening to.
I mean, what you say you're 50-50 on Alchemist? Like, what other Alchemist production like produced tracks do you not fuck with?
Bro, before like Sick came out, like half of Earl's tracks with Alchemist, I don't know about you, but they put me to sleep.
On Sick?
No. Before Sick, when Earl was on his like before Sick, half of the songs that Earl and Alchemist would do, they would just put me to sleep. Like it was like just a clean piano loop, and maybe it's not even Alchemist's fault as much as like me knowing how Earl is gonna attack those beats. But like when Alchemist doesn't hit, it just kind of feels maybe how about this? It's not that Alchemist makes bad beats, but his frequent collaborators, I feel like I've sort of learned the formula. So if it's not like A1, then it's like, all right, like you got your cool little sample, some piano flourishes, some, like boom bap drums, and then, raps here and there. But for instance, if I think about Alchemist and, Action Bronson, heat every time, bro. Heat every time. Lamb with lamb over rice? Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Sounds like you're just a hater, and I guess that's why you're not coming to see him and Earl on the tour. So,
hey, bro, I'm still looking for that album between him, Earl, and Vince, bro. I'm still searching.
that's never coming. That's like those mythology albums. It's like Kanye X Drake or Tyler X Earl. Like that, the shit's never happening. Black
Hey,
Hippie
bro,
album, never happening.
hey, bro, why you go for my life right now, bro? Why you come for my life?
Those mythology albums. Those like the like rare Pokemon kind of shits.
Hey, bro, watch out! We're about to get a Kanye X feature track. About to be the most misogynistic track of the decade. About to be beautiful.
True.
Man.
But yeah, man, I'm
Hmm?
I'm excited about this
Yeah.
new Nigo collab project because we got a dope single from Mr. Rakim, aka ASAP Rocky, aka Pretty Flacko.
ASAP. Hey, man. First and foremost, just shout out to the piano chords. I didn't know I needed eight. I didn't know I needed so much Rocky in my life, man. Like when I heard the piano chords and just heard Rocky just floating on that beat, I was like, oh, damn, this is a pretty Flacko dude. Like this is the goat right here. We need where's Cozy Tapes Volume 3? Where's All Smiling? Where's him and Frank Ocean doing some random stuff? Or where's Wang Sap? Or anything ASAP related, anything ASAP Rocky related, really. Like, whew, that song revived me, bro.
That 21 Savage line too was oof. No, I thought it was well produced. Definitely like, it was funny. I was reading the lyrics just on Genius, and like, there's not. It's a very standard ASAP
bro.
Rocky like song in terms of lyrics, but when
Sure.
you put it on top of the production, and when you put in Rocky's charisma and like ability to kind of float and showboat on a track, I mean, to me, it elevates that whole single to like a level where I was like kind of hyped. Now I'm kind of like interested to see what, if he is dropping a new project this year, what it's going to be like. Because I think this track to me was a very like typical like, and a really good track nonetheless, but like a very typical like ASAP Rocky track, like with kind of like this. I don't know if it's New York production, but it's definitely production he would rap over.
Mm-hmm.
And it fits his fits his flow, fits his voice, fits his sound.
Hey, man. I mean, I definitely agree with you. Like, initially, for whatever reason, like, because I didn't do my research. It's like, yo, like, did that dude produce the beat? But then obviously, like, no, he didn't. He just like likes to collaborate with dope artists, and he just had ASAP Rocky and some producer come together. But I guess what I really liked about the song is that it, like you said, it encapsulated the essence of ASAP Rocky so well. ASAP by by no means is like some kind of master lyricist, at least not maybe by modern standards, but like he's by no means is he necessarily rapping about the most intricate things like a Lupe Fiasco or Jay Electronica. But his charisma, like yeah, his charisma and wordplay choices in conjunction with his instrumentation choices really just elevates the sonical experience to something that like you can bump to on a surface level, but then if you like actually like wordplay or like slick rhyme schemes, you can actually like appreciate ASAP Rocky. I definitely remember like back in like 2017, 2019, when he was kind of like low key like the feature killer. I don't know if you remember West Coast on ASAP Ferg, like the West Coast remix where like ASAP Ferg, ASAP Rocky, yeah, Busta Rhymes, Snoop Dogg, Ricky Rose. Whew, that ASAP verse still rings in my head, man. He's like, running like you stop. I don't even want to like misquote him. I just want to tell you that like he really stepped up his or like had sex with enough women to like gain that power skill, but like that man's flow is untouchable, bro.
Yeah, man, that's like kind of what he's known for, right? And I think Pharrell had a lot to do with that track too. And I don't know if they've necessarily worked a whole bunch together in the past, but I think Pharrell's just one of those guys who always knows like how to still have his own sound, but always like kind of curating it to the artist's sound. Like him and Tyler always kind of hit, um, and this kind of he kind of knew what to do with this kind of production overall. And it's funny because I don't think this track was like too crazy of a track, because I know that was like something that like the last time we heard from Rocky when he was like coming out with a project, which was testing. I think a lot of people like were very split on it. I think it was like a 50-50 split. Like you either loved it or you hated it. Which is like, and I think we're just gonna get into like our man ASAP Rocky over here and just like his whole career. And I think one of the major complaints about testing was that it was too experimental, or like trying too hard to be experimental.
It's almost like the album was about testing new stuff.
I didn't even really think about it like that, but yeah. Um, but I was listening to like all his projects, and I mean, the dude has always been kind of experimental. Like everyone thinks he's just like a Harlem rapper who raps over like 3 6 Mafia samples, but he's really not
No,
that. That's like 10% of
maybe
his.
maybe in the beginning, I'll give you that for
Yeah,
like
yes,
Live Love.
yeah, especially on the mixtape, definitely. But that's I would say it's like 10-15% of his catalog. Everything else is like it's really interesting to see like how he came up in an era that was kind of that SoundCloud era, right? Like music becomes more digitized, the platform becomes more digitized and internet based. So now there's no need to really have that geographic location kind of influence driving like your music. Now you can kind of expand because everyone's listening to your shit. Doesn't matter, like people from New York, people from Missouri, whatever. And I think he kind of recognized that and has always tried to kind of like have an interesting sound, and nothing is too New York, nothing is too Memphis or Houston or too kind of like hipster experimental. It's all like this kind of nice mix. I mean, some shit ends up coming out like kind of whack or like kind of like corny, but
Yo, why are you talking about that song with him and Kodak Black?
Call Drops, I like that song.
I'm sorry, I don't.
I mean, it's definitely like just like kind of. It's not even. I wouldn't even
Intro
really
drop.
call it a song. It is a song, but it's not. It's very like strange. It's not. It's Kodak rapping over like a prison phone call. Like, there's definitely tracks on that project that just kind of leave my head scratching. Like Brother Man. Um,
Hey man, that's the best French Montana verse I've ever heard, feature verse I've ever heard, bro.
no, no, no. But yeah, man. I mean, like, like you growing up here, like I feel like
Yeah,
ASAP Rocky was like a very like quintessential high school, like for our generation, like high school hip hop artist. Like he was on the come up when we were like coming up in high school. But like I don't know if you felt like you started listening to him in high school or college. Like what was your like introduction?
I didn't really get into hip hop until like college, and at that time, like when Long Live ASAP came out. So like like the commercial debut, where it fucking problems Goldie and all those wonderful tracks. I remember like listening to him, and I was like still in my like backpack tip like heavy. I'm like, bruh, who is this dude? You got no bars. Like, what is this? Like, it's too commercial. Because again, if it's like on the radio, mass appeal, it must be bad. That was like essentially where my brain was at because I was just in my Wu-Tang bubble. But then like obviously I was like messing with Odd Future and TDE, so there was like I was always like a little bit of cross reference with some ASAP. Well, not so much with Odd Future, but definitely with TDE, where like either Schoolboy Q, well specifically Schoolboy Q would work with both ASAP Rocky and Ferg, and I did like
Mm.
those songs. And then randomly, I don't even know why, like shout out to the YouTube algorithm gods, I just happened to hear One Train, and can we just take a moment to like appreciate that
Mm-hmm.
moment in hip hop?
That's like
Like,
that's like a snapshot of that era of hip hop where like it was it's just like everyone on that track was like all about to hit their prime, but everyone like different kind of just different artists. Like none of them are like kind of like in the same circles now anymore, or even were back
yeah,
then.
definitely not.
Outside of maybe like yeah, but One Train.
Yeah, man. So like, I heard One Train out of nowhere. I'm like, okay, this is undeniable. Again, it's undeniable, bro. Like, your girl smell like a penguin. Come on, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, yeah. Anyway, so with that being said, so then when the next album came out, which was what like at Long Last ASAP, the one where he had that homeless dude on the like on like six of the tracks.
Hmm?
That was my
Oh, Joe
actual like
Fox.
first like Ace. Yeah, Joe Fox. Yeah. Again, like long story short, ASAP Rocky found this random dude like playing instruments, living homeless back in England. He liked the sound so much that he put him on like six songs of the album. And yeah, we don't know
You're
what happened to
making it
Joe
sound like
Fox after that,
you're
but
making it sound like he was ass.
I'm not. No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like I don't know what happened to what happened after with him afterwards. Do
Apparently,
you know? Do you know?
there's like some like it's kind of like a mystery, I guess. Like no one really. I guess there's like word out that he is like I don't know. There's like I feel like I read something before that he's like homeless again, or that like no one knows where he is anymore. Like kind of like fell off the face of the earth a little bit, but like it's kind of a mystery, I guess, as to kind of what
And man,
happened.
I just hope that Jamie Foxx is doing Jamie Foxx.
Joe Fox, Jamie
Joe
Fox.
Fox. I hope that Joe Fox is holding his head together. His contribution on the album honestly was really fire, and I really think that Joe Fox's contribution towards that album sort of gives this album or the second official tape like a legitimate like its own sonical distinction out of everything else of the album. If you ask me personally,
Mm.
I listened to the album from top to bottom. Honestly, I loved it. It was cool. I mean, again, it was maybe like a little bit less lyrical than I quote unquote would have wanted it, but in terms of how he presented his topics and music and stuff like that, it was undeniable. And then I remember "Excuse Me" came on, and
Oof.
there's something about like how like it's original. It feels like a classic hip hop beat, but then when the hook comes in, it all of a sudden gets like a psychedelic hook feeling, and it's like "Excuse me," and so on. But like, I just like the way that the man infused like I guess quote unquote typical boom bap hip hop beats with some of the sample nature, which is obviously still inspired by the southern stuff, with some more electronic electronica vibes. And I was like, okay, this dude's obviously like trying to cultivate a sound. And one thing I really loved about ASAP Rocky was his music videos. Something about like even if I didn't care for the songs, like the music videos would always like elevate the experience.
Yeah, I think that was the album where he like started doing a bunch of like acid, like before recording. So he became like a very like acid kind of guy, like LSD. I mean, he has a fucking track just called LSD. Um, but yeah, man, that whole album to me was like very like sonically like a trip, honestly. Tracks like Excuse Me and LSD, even to me the best part of Excuse Me, or like one of the best parts of that song is like kind of the outro when it's just like the sample keeps going, and it's just like the girl kind of like just doing that up up, and it's just like it just the beat rides out. Um,
It rats out amazing.
yeah. Um, and then yeah, I mean Joe Fox does is a highlight on that project 'cause I think he has like a very distinct voice and a pretty good voice too. Um, the only issue I have with that album, which is weird because I feel like the complaints about testing more so would make sense to me about this project. Um, and I feel like a lot of tracks on here, Rocky doesn't get the most out of his features. Like the Kanye feature, like where he's just like he's just like he that era of Kanye is like kind of what we're seeing today, where he was kind of like wilding out. He's like, "Hey man," and then he's like, just talking about like how people hate him as a black man because uh, he's got the energy of a white man or the balls, something like that. Um, and then he's like, I got one kid, but I'm fucking like I'm trying to have FOMO, and then the FOMO like I was just like that's a very Kanye kind of like bar, and I mean it was corny. Um, and then the future feature was also another one where it was just like I don't know if it was like outright trash, but it was just very like to me that whole song Fine Wine was like very I don't know if I really liked that song that whole much either. The MIA feature was also kind of whatever. Um, and then I guess also I don't know if I really can hate on Everyday. I mean, it's definitely like it's kind of like the Schoolboy Q effect where they always try to put like one mainstream song on there to kind of get some airplay, you know.
Yeah, you know the moneymaker.
And with Miguel's always on these tracks. It's like we need a song that needs to be on the radio, and we have a kind of mid to large hip hop presence here, artists with a presence here. Get Miguel on the track.
Hey, bro, why you talking about Weekend? That's a good song.
Every day. Um, but yeah, I mean, overall, that album, it's got a certain type of energy to it, and it's definitely moving. It moves away from a lot of, I guess, like the New York, whatever New York sound that ASAP had on the previous album, which was his first, his studio debut, is now kind
Mm-hmm.
of like minimized on this album, and you know maybe that's because this was the album post ASAP Yams' passing, you know, or just
Mm.
Rocky just trying to kind of push the boundaries on himself. But to me, this album was like really great. You know, tracks like Electric Body with Schoolboy Q, Canal Street, uh, Lord Pretty Flacko Jody, um, Wavy Bone, Back Home, talking about Ames, um, Excuse Me, LSD, all those.
Yeah, man, like it's a well packaged, it's a album well put together, which I personally think, and also I personally think this album has aged gracefully. Like,
Yeah,
put the song out for the youngins who are more into the trap sounds, that I think they can really recognize. Yo, this isn't quote unquote old head music, if you know what I mean. Like, and even for the old heads, they can listen to this and say, "Yo, this feels like an artist who's actively trying to, create a sonical experience. You might, again, not relate to the topics per se, but how they are being presented feels authentic, if that kind of makes any sense. Weird, artsy fartsy type of way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just going back to my earlier point, like ASAP Rocky, and like listening to all his music like over this weekend and just revisiting like a lot of shit. And to me, it was like a trip down memory lane. Like I distinctly remember like where I was in life listening to these projects. But he's an interesting artist in that he is, I guess, a New York artist, but I felt like he never allowed that kind of regional, I guess, label really box him in. He's always strived and prospered. He's always tried to kind of expand on the sound, and
Okay, I see what you did there, Tip. I see what you did there, Ti. Okay.
like maybe he did. Maybe that acid really did hit. Maybe he had some pretty good acid. Maybe he smoked some really dope weed and expanded his mind. But thankfully he did, because we got some dope music out of it. We didn't really get too much of just that whole being locked into that New York bubble, like, and even still now, like I feel like, even in the city like New York, I feel like he's
There's no
very
New York sound, bro.
he's underappreciated.
Wait, really?
I think he is.
Really? Okay, explain yourself.
I don't think he's underrated. I think he's underappreciated.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people who kind of say, who are your favorite New York artists right now? Like, no one ever says Rocky. Like, no one's ever like. I think people give him respect, but no one's saying like Rocky.
No, that's actually right though. No, you're right about that.
I feel like people will like,
I've never heard anyone say like ASAP like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like most people would just kind of go to like, who's hot or poppin', which is nothing wrong with that. Like, people can say like 5E, Pop Smoke, Lil TJ, whoever, Boogie, all these guys. But people kind of, I think Rocky like gets forgotten about because he's never really tried to like hold on to that New York, sound. I mean, he still reps Harlem, but I think that's more from an artistic standpoint. He's like from Harlem. He's like saying like a Harlem dude can be like a Kid Cudi type, like kind of had these groundbreaking like psychedelic influence and put it in hip hop music, and kind of changed the soundscape a little bit.
That's actually a really interesting way to put it. A Harlem kid the Kid Cudi Harlem kid. It's an interesting comparison.
Yeah, they're definitely not the same, but
yeah, no, I see that. But I mean, let's not get it twisted though. Like ASAP Rocky didn't just like stop giving us the bars. Do you remember Cozy Tapes Volume 1?
Oof. Oh my God.
Hey man,
Cozy Tapes Volume 1 or Volume 2?
I'm talking about what?
No, I'm just saying though. Volume 1 or Volume 2?
Oh, damn. Okay, all right. You know what? I'm gonna say 1 because I think 1 is a little tighter than 2. But 2 definitely got some joints on there though.
It does. But Volume 1 to me, like, it's just all ASAP. That to me was the best. Outside of Ferg and Rocky, that's everyone's best contribution under the ASAP, I guess, label or name. 12E, Nas, and
don't forget Cardi now.
Oh yeah, I mean, true.
That's before he turned into a vampire.
Yeah, but Lamborghini High.
Man. I'm looking at the track list right now, man. Like Lamborghini High,
Money Man.
London
Town, Crazy Brazy.
Bro, London, yo, that song. I need to play that song in London before I die. I need to just like play that song in London.
True.
Like I just need such a great song, man.
What's that last joint?
Well, post telephone call.
Oh, telephone calls. Yeah, oh, the one before that too.
Postman. Bachelor.
Bachelor. Oof, with Offset, Made in To, Lil Yachty.
Bro.
Yeah, man.
Or do you even remember Runner?
Oh yeah, true, true, true. That one, that one was.
Because that's like when Uzi was like still bubbling up. Like, oh man,
Yeah.
Volume 1, man. You know what I really loved about the Cozy tapes too. And again, this is like about me. Like you got like, for the listeners, you probably noticed like I like it when albums present themselves for what they are. So like going back to Earl Sweatshirt real quick, the album, just some rap songs is literally called just some rap songs. So if you don't find a body of work inherently cohesive, which is a completely fair complaint to have, I feel like at least how he presented it, especially with the cover art being like a really messed up photo, like a really shaky one, you kind of knew what you're expecting from that. So calling this album Cozy Tapes Volume 1, singing Blue, like seeing a baby photo of, Yams, ASAP Yams. It just kind of I guess it presented this as a mixtape to me, if that makes sense. Or just like, the guys having fun,
True.
Just, getting their bars off and seeing the feature verses really actually like step up the game and contribute towards the whole sonical experience. It's just such a great time capsule of like 2016, 2017, man.
Yeah, that was an important era, which was funny because that tape to me, even the track with Wiz, I forget what it's called, and even the kind of like the muddier, slower songs on that album, I mean, they're still fine too. But yeah, it's another like kind of snapshot of like what was going on in that era of hip hop. And then we got number 2, which was fine. But
it was more than fine.
It was all right.
It was more than just fine, bro.
I mean,
what do you mean just more than just fine?
It was definitely like they kind of called it in a little bit, but they were having fun with the project, I think.
Bro, do you remember Bahamas?
Are you serious?
You don't remember how Schoolboy Q was flowing on that beat?
Are you serious? I can't tell if you're being serious.
Dead ass serious. I am dead ass being serious.
That's probably
no Captain Kirk in this building.
That's probably like top 3 worst tracks on that album. And there's a lot of shit on that album.
Hey, bro, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know about all that, but I will say this though: the whole school motif they were going for in this album, I didn't really care for it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me either. I remember.
How do you feel about Perry A? How do you feel about Perry
A? It's all right. I like it, but I recognize it's kind of like hot garbage.
Like you said, this is remote control.
The Jaden verse or the Jaden feature on there was kind of, I don't know, with the pitch down vocals. It was just like whatever. But like I like the track. It's definitely kind of like just kind of like a low key banger. But I do remember looking at I distinctly remember looking at the feature list before the album dropped, and I was so hyped off of the What Happens track with was Rocky, Ferg, Joey, a lot of Pro Era dudes, and the Flatbush Zombies. And I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
You press play, that beat was hot garbage too. And everyone was like, no one was rapping on that shit. No one was rapping on that shit. I was so disappointed. I was like, damn. No one, like, y'all didn't try. No one. I guess maybe like everyone kind of heard each other's verses. We're like, oh, I guess I don't gotta try either. Even the producer was like, no one's trying on this shit, so I might as well make a whack ass beat. So,
bro, why you talking about Escape?
It's so disappointing. Yeah, the whole album was up and down, you know.
Definitely. And I agree with you. This definitely felt like a lot more phone calls rather than studio sessions that were recorded, if you know what I mean.
But no, I take it back. Bahamas is definitely not like a top 3 worst track on that album, because I'm looking at the track list right now, and like, I mean, there's there's hot ass on this album. Bahamas is not that
I
ass.
was gonna say, bro, Bahamas, bro, Schoolboy Q ripped it, bro.
Yeah,
And, you know, your little boat, you know, trying to keep up.
yeah. But Please Shut Up, Blowing Minds, Walk on Water. Ooh, feels so
And what
good.
about Feel So Good?
Feels so good, yeah. Cause it feels so good. Um, if you ever seen their live performance, I forget. I think it was Jimmy Kimmel, but they all performed that song. They were all on. The whole ASAP group was there. It's a dope show. Um, but
I
yeah,
should check
man.
it out.
I mean, we gotta track it back, man,
A
to the
word?
to the to the breakout album of the cloud trap era.
Are you talking about that love? You talking about that love?
Talking about that Clams Casino. Talking about that Rocky. Talking about
Hey
that
man, shout out to
Hunger.
Clams. Talking about that purple swag, bro?
Purple Swag. Yeah, man. I
I
mean,
gotta be honest with you, man. Clam Casino deserves so much more from this industry, man. Like the influence that man brought towards the cloud era of rap, phenomenal.
yeah, it's kind of
Like, can we just take a moment to appreciate Clams?
no, yeah,
Like,
no.
damn.
It's kind of crazy though. Sometimes in like hip hop, like some people like Clams Casino, like they do something like very like pioneering, and but they just never really get their comeuppance. They never really get recognized. You know, it kind of feels
Until
bad.
they die.
True, but I mean, to me, this was probably the first hip hop project that I really listened to. This was back in high school, I think junior or senior year. I can't remember. But you know, Peso was the song. You know, Peso was like I'm like, whoa, how is this guy rapping? Like he's talking about the alphabet A B C D E F G. Harlem is what I'm repping. I'm like, oh boy, like, um,
You're like, what? What is a lean? Why is he talking about lean cut?
yeah, and but nah,
Man
man.
talking about pills. Is he pulling a neutral B Dr. Mario in Smash Brothers? That's a gaming reference for y'all.
Hey. But other tracks like Houston Old Head, Bass, Leaf, Lit. I mean, and it's all like this is I guess his most like influence sounding project because there's definitely like the Houston like Chopped and Screwed influence, the Memphis influence, the New York influence, but he does it all so well and he kind of makes it into his own sound. um and even some tracks like they still have really that. I guess this is more so about Clams Casino's production. You know, he really I think he went above and beyond for a mixtape like this because I don't know. I think it's such a quintessential mixtape of that era, the 2010s. Like, it's hard to not recognize the sound and the lyrics, even the features. You know, just everything about that project is like era defining, and it like just busted open the door for like yeah, like cloud rap and kind of this kind of Chopped and Screwed, like the revival of Chopped and Screwed, but also for SoundCloud rap.
Hey man, look. Obviously, this wasn't the tape that I listened to first. In fact, I actually went back to this tape when the re-release came out. What about like 3-4 months ago? If you kind of remember, it was like it's like, hey, like that's the tape that everyone like keeps talking is dope. So I did some of the things like Peso, Purple Swag, and a song with him and Schoolboy Q. What was it called? That guy, I think it was called, or Brand New Guy. My bad, Brand New Guy. So you know, able to listen to it from start to bottom. I gotta say this, man. Like, first and foremost, I love mixtape energy. There's something about like that raw essence of maybe you want to call it the hunger, or like that raw energy or whatever you want to call it, where you can feel like the person is trying to grab your attention with the music they're trying to make. and but it wasn't in like attention grabbing way. And obviously, again, ASAP is by no means a lyricist. He's not rapping about the moons and the stars, about the deeper. No, he's a fashion dude who raps about what he wants or what he does. You know, rapping Harlem. You know, stacking women, doing drugs, and you know, like the typical hip hop isms. But and again, you know, like I do have to say this, right? Like if I heard this tape back in my elitist wave when I was like listening to, let's say, like, you know, the Kendricks and the Absols and stuff, I'm like, what is this low grade music? Turn this shit off, and then go back to my, you know, backpacker stuff. Probably about to listen to like Token, might listen to Token or some shit. But you know, listen to this now, especially in this sort of like era of not SoundCloud rap, because we're kind of post that. I guess I'll say TikTok rappers, just because that's like the platform people blow up now, musically speaking. But you know, let's call it TikTok rap. Just like be able to listen to, like, I guess the packaging of the ideas that are being presented. You can clearly tell that ASAP is not, like, even on this tape, he's not phoning in anything. Like, he's really, like, you can tell that he, like, took to pen and pad and is actually rapping. And even if he freestyled the verses, he's doing it based off of a certain flow execution that works. And then, you know, you get that Clarence Casino production in there, which just really adds in there. And the infusion of that Southern sound, you know, where he's doing the chopped and screw, the deeper voices, some of the sample choices, it just, like, really, like, it really just kind of made me wonder in a very weird way, like, yo, what if A$AP Rocky just got, like, The House Was Burning? Like, let's just say he just got all the beats off of that tape. Like, he made an album off of that. Would that arguably be a better version of the album? Who knows? But, like, now I want A$AP Rocky and some of those House Was Burning type beats. I need A$AP and Zay-Wop to make a track together. But that's neither here nor there. I can just say, from looking at this from someone who's appreciated the progression of the artist, that seeing this is the starting point, this is one hell of a strong starting point, man. Just a lot of potential. And the songs age really well. I can't even lie with you. Like, even Peso, I can still bump that in. I can still bump that in the whip. Just want some Peso. Yeah.
Era-defining mixtape, you know. Nah, I mean, I think in large part, like, A$AP has always believed in himself from the get-go. Like, I think that's why he's always, like, I feel like that's why he gets kind of, like, just going back to testing. Like, I feel like that's why he got shitted on for that album, because people complain that, you know, like, it was weird sounding, or it's too, like, you know, it's too experimental.
He's testing on an album named Testing. Who would have guessed? Oh, no, bro, burn him to the stake.
But he's always wanted to kind of, like, showcase his ability. You know, it's on this mixtape. It's very evident that he's, like, I'm that pretty motherfucker, like, who can rap, who can, you know, like, have an ear for production, can have a certain style. Like, I'm still putting in effort into my flows, my bars. Like, it might not be the most introspective shit, but like damn, like, you really, it grabs your attention because the dude pulls it off so well.
We should give A$AP Rocky, like, some props though. Like, whenever he raps about the people that he lost in his, you know, like, life, especially during his career, those are some, like, real, like, deep cuts, in my personal opinion.
Yeah. No, that's the thing too. Like, he can get really introspective. There's always, like, a few tracks on every project where he kind of talks about either, you know, like, family loss, A$AP Yams. I mean, on Testing was more so introspective, like, from the standpoint of, like, getting older and, like, recognizing that maybe he was a little bit of a thotty. So he's like, I've lost all these girls who really, like, I was in love with, and now they have, like, family and children, and I'm just, like, you know, I'm still, like, cooling with my jewelry, but is this...
Hey, let me ask you, bro. When you heard that song, you know about that one exactly. How did you feel about that verse, bro?
We're talking about Purity Ring, right? I think it was Purity Ring.
No, not Pure. No, it was Purity. I think it was that Black Tux?
Oh yeah, it might have been Black Tux. It's definitely, like, one of those last few songs.
Because Purity's the one where... No, but you remember that song. How you feel about the verse, bro? Because I can't lie with you, he sounded bitter to me when I heard that.
Yeah, no, he sounded like, he said the bar, like, you know, like, are you posting, like, pictures of your kid on the gram so I get jealous? I'm like, damn, son. It's not that deep. I don't think it's that deep. Like, also, why are you still following her, fam? Or are you looking her up? It sounds like you did that to yourself. But yeah, I mean, now he's got Rihanna, so he's chilling. He's chilling.
Riri.
Bad guy, Riri.
Hey, bro, but like, what is your take on testing though? Like, it's like what 3 years now, maybe
I
4.
I really liked it when it first dropped. I mean, and then I also felt like there was a lot of hate. Like I remember that. Like a lot of people did not fuck with it. And then it kind of also made me not like fuck with it a little bit because I was like, damn, I guess this album is trash. But no, I mean I've come around to it a whole lot more, and even the songs that I really was kind of like about, I kind of like a little bit more, like Black Tux. Kids Turned Out Fine. I guess the only real thing.
Oh, that's no, you wild, bro. That was an amazing song.
Yeah.
Out of my face, bro. That was an amazing song.
Yeah. I guess this has always just been like one of my major complaints about ASAP is that I don't really know if he should be like bro, like you're rich, you're in the music industry, like just get a singing coach. Like it's not that hard, bro. Like he sounds like worse on testing singing than he does on like some tracks on Long.Live.A AP uh, or Live.Love.A AP, and it's just like, dude, like just get a singing coach, like, or at long last ASAP, It's just like,
I sold the drugs, man.
I guess, but it's just like a whole mix of songs too. Like I get it, like people don't really, but that's just always been ASAP. Like this is the dude who had like Skrillex like producing a song, and then had like one of the best posse cuts of the 2010s on the same project. He's always had a variety of sounds on his album. But this one is a little bit more, I guess, left field, because you've got FKA Twigs with Fuck Sleep. It's an amazing song. ASAP Forever with the Moby sample, which is also a great song.
Do you prefer the remix or do you prefer the original?
I like the remix better.
You like the
Yeah, I love it. Give me it. But then he's got some straight up bangers on there. Praise the Lord.
Bro, Tony Tone,
OG Beeper, Guns and Butter.
Man, I forgot about Block Boy JP. It was supposed to be something.
He dropped an album on Friday.
That's what I didn't even hear it.
Yeah. Warrior.
Yeah, so check it out. Maybe it's gonna be fire.
But yeah, I mean, like, there's like just kind of. Oh no, it was Changes. Changes was the song we were talking about with the line.
Changes. Yeah,
Like, it was Changes.
Some aggressive word, yeah.
But yeah, like songs like Changes, Kids Turned Out Fine, Purity, Call Drops, even I would throw it in there. Like those songs definitely have like a more laid back, not so hip hop kind of production, like very
Guns and Butter.
like
Guns
indie.
and Butter, bro.
Guns and Butter, that shit's fire. The Juicy J. But yeah, those kind of songs had definitely like there's no like boom bap, there's no like hi-hats, there's no like, it's just very like more introspective tracks. And I mean, I don't really know what to say about Call Drops. I don't know what the purpose of that song was. To me, I just like it because it's
Free Kodak.
Free Kodak. And he did get freed. But Purity Ring with Frank Ocean. Oof, I mean, to me, that's just like it's like kind of, it sounds like, what was that song? Provider?
What, by Lauryn Hill?
No. I don't know if you remember the Provider single.
No.
Wow. It sounded
Oh,
like,
wait, by Frank Ocean.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Call me. Oh, man. Bro, I listen to that song at least one time. It just puts me in the right mood.
Yeah. Um,
Frankie Ocean.
but Purity Rain, like that was I like that track. I like it. I like it a whole lot more now than I did back then. Like a lot of the slower kind of tracks, and I also didn't really fuck with Fuck Sleep back then. But it definitely, if you play it in your car, I mean, the bass, I mean, it just hits.
Hey man, as you get older, you get slower, slow down a bit, but you recognize you don't need to sleep that much, trying to get that chicken.
Fuck Sleep. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. Like, do you remember like what your first reaction to testing was?
Yeah, actually I do. And honestly, I loved it just because it was just such it was a variety pack of different sounds and singles. I'm not saying that I liked every song because that would be disingenuous, but I liked all the artists. Even if I didn't like the song, I liked the artistic jumps that he took. It was like one of those things where I felt like no song, maybe besides Cold Drops, but that's not even a song. It's really more of an interlude thing.
Yeah.
Felt well produced, and whatever I didn't like was just based off of my sonical palette at the time, and also kind of going back to if I'm listening to hip hop, I'm expecting quote unquote hip hop elements. You know what I mean? Versus if I'm listening to like rap or jazz, there's some jazz elements I'm expecting versus like rock or whatever, but never country. So I just thought it was like a well produced album, and the songs that I liked, I just kept going back to them, and then at some point I remember listening to the whole album in its holistic totality again. And I mean, yeah, it's a little bit of a mess. I'm not gonna sit here and try to present like it to be this like coherent masterpiece because it really isn't. But again, right, it's called testing, and I felt like he tested out a lot of cool sounds, and it just sounded really dope. And honestly, like I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for it, but testing is actually my favorite album off of his like catalog. I'm not saying it's his best. I think his best is personally at Long.Live.A AP personally, but like the album that I think I enjoyed the most was that just because of the artistic risks that were taken, so therefore the rewards felt a lot less formulaic versus what I feel like I could sort of expect off of his other tapes. Again, like his first tape, like in retrospect, obviously, I mean, it's like his first, it's his initial tape, so obviously, like, you can only go up from there, and obviously it sounds really dope and cool, but you can definitely pinpoint, like, either due to budget constraints or just trying to get on, like, all right, he's the sound he's trying to go for, and his, like, Long Live definitely felt more like the commercial push, I'm not saying, like, they're definitely, like, again, great songs in there, but they're definitely more radio singles there that I think that even, like, in retrospect, Rocky was kind of like, yeah, I was just trying to get it on. And then, you have, like, At Long Last, which I think is a lot more experimental, a lot more truer towards ASAP, quote-unquote, an artist. But, sonically speaking, it was definitely a lot more coherent than Testing. And while I do think that's why I think it's a better album. But I just find that the fact that Testing, again, wanted to try something different. When it tried something different and it hit in a way that I would have never expected it to hit, if that makes sense. So I can appreciate when an artist jumps out the window and decides to do something if it hits. If it doesn't, I'm just going to call it Yeezus Part 2 and then just throw it in a trash bin or whatever.
Yeah. Nah, like Testing holds a special place, like, in my heart too.
Let me ask you though, how did you feel about Sundress?
Sundress, I love that. I mean, I like Tame Impala, so I like the sample. Just another, like, he's definitely like, ooh, ooh. Yeah, man, I love that song. It's very like summer vibes. Tokyo Drift. Yeah, no, I haven't. First, I don't know. I feel like I always like that song, but he's always dropping those cool singles. Always, it's always Sundress, Babushka Boy, Multiply.
Bro, Babushka Boy, bro. I just need like an EP. Just like give me 6 to 8 tracks of that. Just to give me like a espresso shot of that.
Babushka Boys. Woo. That fucking beat. The samples.
I don't understand how people say the ASAP. I don't know how people say ASAP fell off. I just don't get it.
Money, power. That's it. But you know what? We kind of skipped over it a little bit. But his first project, man. Long.Live.A ASAP. I mean, we talked about One Train, but
Yo, Goldie, bro. Also had a
Goldie. Goldie. It's definitely. It's funny because he has a mixtape that came out before it, but I feel like this is his most outdated sounding project. There's still a lot more. There's still a lot of quality tracks, but definitely his kind of most outdated sounding project, in my opinion. But a couple
I agree. I think
highlights.
it's definitely very much reminiscent
Yeah,
of the times.
yeah. But to me, like some highlights were, One Train. I like Goldie. But suddenly the beat switch, or when the beat comes in, I should say, Angels, Jodie, Long.Live.A ASAP to me is like one of the craziest intro tracks to a hip hop album. It's just like, especially going from the mixtape, Live.Love.A AP to his like commercial studio debut album. And you're maybe like expecting like kind of that cloud rap or maybe some chopped and screwed shit, but it's like kind of this wonky, dark beat that just kicks off, and then you're just like, whoa, what the fuck? Sounds like you're stuck in a prison or something.
You're right, bro. Like I remember randomly hearing that song again in YouTube algorithms and just loving it. So then when I heard it in the context of the album, I was like, oh, this is how we're starting it off, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, okay, like again, and then going from there to Goldie, I'm like, okay, and then got some other songs in there that aren't bad, but again, felt more commercial picks than anything.
Yeah, I mean, this album definitely had some like a lot of these songs weren't like on the radio like back then. Like fucking Problems was a hit.
The whole ASAP mob off of this tape.
Yeah. But yeah, I really like Long.Live.A AP. That's a great intro track. I mean, the only other like intro track that gives me like the same kind of like whoa, like this is interesting way to start an album, I guess, is like Good Kid, Mad City. But no, I mean that album too, like just brings me back to freshman year UConn. Like that album was on repeat the whole time. One Train is probably one of the best posse cuts of that era, but definitely a lot more commercial sounding.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He's got a large body of work now. I know he hasn't really tried to like give us an idea of when this new album, All Smiles, is coming out, but I mean, I hope it's this year. That's kind of like what the blogs and the internet trolls have been saying.
Hey man, seeing just the progression from ASAP from his mixtape days to his first commercial debut to his second one to testing, and also being also very grateful that he didn't fall into the whole after release music consistently. I'm very happy that he just decides to drop this. I'm here for it, man. Like I experiment. Like I said, he's always been the guy to experiment and test new boundaries and sounds. He's never allowed himself to be defined either by his geographical region or by whatever hat he has. Right from going to the commercialized nature of this album or the first album to what was these like psychedelic experimental album to the second one to just literally taking the testing route and then also doing some of the fun freestyles with the homies on the Cozy tapes, volumes 1 and 2. I personally would like to hear volume 3. If that never happens, that's fine by me. But I'm here for some kind of Rocky. Like if not him, maybe him collaborating with T Boogie to Go. I mean, would you not want some ASAP Rocky verses on some Tyler beats?
Ooh, some more potato salad. I'm here for it.
We need that wank sap ASAP.
We do need that wank sap. I mean, we didn't really talk about like feature Rocky too, like Who Dat Boy, Mazza on
Tyler to step up his flow.
True. Slow Ties new latest project last year had a nice ASAP feature.
Bro, ASAP on Cardi, chopper, new chopper, new chopper,
New
new chopper.
Choppa. Oof. I mean, I can't even
Do
like.
you remember that?
Yeah, bro. I can't even like mimic. I can't even like rap along to his verse. It's just too nasty.
Bro, the flow execution was too perfect. The flow
He's
execution was
just
too
like,
perfect.
just from the jump, goes in just just immediately. I can't. But yeah, man. Feature
You remember
ASAP.
ASAP Rocky too when he tried to like revive famous Dex's career?
Um, yeah. What was that one? Walk it. Pl- which one was that? What was it called?
Pick it up.
Oh yeah,
Or
pick it up.
yeah,
Pick it up.
pick it up, pick it up. Boom.
The Comethazine track
Hey man,
too.
that was a great song too. Yeah, he also came through for Cole.
Um, pick it up. Pick it up. Pick it up. Yeah, I mean, even on Roadrunner, Brockhampton's last project, Bankroll,
Ooh,
Gilligan.
bro.
They're a broken up super group band. Doesn't matter. They're over.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Feature ASAP. Kind of underrated. Nah, he's not underrated.
Kind of old, like definitely underappreciated. I don't know about you, but like, going back to 2014, if you remember, Oxymoron, there were like some random bonus tracks that like you get depending if you like bought the album at like Target or wherever you would get them.
Uh-huh.
I still remember like this one song, Californication, him featuring with ASAP Rocky.
Oh yeah.
Hey man, whenever Schoolboy Q and ASAP do something, hey man.
Yeah. He's low-key funny too, man. Like his interviews, always funny. The back and forth with Danny Brown series, through Noisy, that shit was legendary. That shit was too funny, bro. That's how I started saying bruh like in my actual life because of that fucking video too. Yeah, man, ASAP. He's here to stay, I'm always gonna look out for his shit. Like, always gonna look out, be excited for an ASAP project. I just hope one comes this year because it would be really dope, and especially because we'll probably be seeing him in April because he is one of the headliners for the Smoker Clubs.
All I know is I need to hear at least one of the tracks off of the mixtape live. I just need to hear that. It's like one of them. I don't care which one. I just need to hear one of them live.
I hope it's. I don't know. You'll probably.
Let me ask you this though.
Yo. Go ahead.
Oh, let me ask you this though, right? So look, shout out to my boy Rocky. Clearly, he's definitely an artist who I feel like has left the mark on the game of just, again, expressing himself in whichever way he found possible. Kind of something interesting to think about. Now it's more for us to like not associate art at geographical locations, but there was a time when like, oh, if you're from New York, you're supposed to sound like this. If you're from the South, you're supposed to sound like this. But obviously ASAP Rocky is one of those artists that initially broke those barriers, with the introduction of the internet. But shifting gears, bro, the year.
What was that?
You heard about that 2222, February 22nd in 2022.
Man, don't even bring that up.
Bro. We're gonna do a bet here right now, bro.
We're not.
If he delivers at minimum a single, if not the album, on that date, what you about to do, bro? Let the fans know.
I will listen to it. If it does come out. That's it. That's all. I'm not giving this man no more clout. This dude, if he wants to drop the album on that date, go ahead. But we're well aware now. I'm not. I've been. I'm not here for it anymore with Kanye. He's kind of like on my last nerve. Man
said I've been waiting for 3 live music sessions. Nah, I feel you, bro. You remember me with like music session number 3? I didn't even hear it.
Yeah.
Still to this day.
If anything, you caused me to feel this way. because of that.
Oh, no, that was real. I'll say this, man. Like, me and Captain Kirk, we made a bet. So, like, I think he's gonna drop it only because, like, right now he's on this vindictive tip, and like, vindictive, yeah, he can never quite, figure out. But like, you know, if he doesn't do it, I'm not surprised. I'm definitely not holding my breath because I don't know about you, but Donda's still in the rotation. And low key, I kind of hope that like it's not gonna just be a bunch of like changes on there, if you know what I mean.
Changes. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know, man. Like, I have nothing to say really. I'll know it's real once I've listened to it like 3 times, at least.
Yeah, 3 times.
But yeah, man. I don't know. Did you find any new music this week? Anything you feel like you want to share with the crowd, with the audience?
I mean, like obviously, I was like bumping with that new Kyle album. I personally enjoyed it. I enjoyed it for someone who got into Kyle with his first official album, which is like it was like a nice poppy track, but like good. Like it felt like a genuine track made by like an artist who's like just expressing his emotions, trying to go into the more pop centric sound, and he has the ability to sing. Definitely better than Rocky at this point. Then he dropped the second album. I wasn't really feeling that one, to be honest with you. It felt a little too much of heartbreak. And then he dropped this one like again this Friday, and he sounds to be still like has a love central theme to it, but it's like a lot less. It's like maybe like him just trying to like get a girl or something, and I could sort of see I can see the music being played in a social setting, but outside of that, I'm just been bumping Kenny Mason right now, bro. Keep an eye out for him. Yo, Kenny Mason. I need Kenny Mason and Denzel Curry to do another track with each other. How about you, Papa Vic?
That'd be exciting.
What have you been listening to?
I actually found because I've been seeing their name a lot, especially like on kind of like in that mid to bottom part of like festival posters, Paris, Texas.
Okay.
Very interesting kind of sound. They're very like kind of like that Zilla kind of, but not as like I guess emo metal kind of hip hop production kind of crossover. Very interesting sound. I like their EP more so that came out like in last fall. Been listening to that, which is like new to me. But yeah, bruh, ASAP Rocky here to stay.
All smiles, bro.
All smiles. We need it,
bro. Whenever we're talking about, when we talk about that album, when we talk about his discography, it's all smiles, bro.
We'll probably do a ranking by then.
We do need that Wangsap though.
Wangsap,
we need a Wangsap. We do need that though. At least a single, bro.
True.
And let Jane rap, bro.
Alright, but the steady rotation, we out.
Peace.